I recently got back from a 4-day scrapbooking retreat, and it was my first time ever scrapbooking outside of my craft room. I have never been to a retreat. I have never scrapbooked with anyone else before. So this was super fun. I wasn't sure what to pack, but I think I did really good. And I just want to show you some of the things I created. Some of them are secrets that need to be shown in a different video. So I'm going to go through and sneak those out of here, but I did create them. And share with you kind of what I did there, what I had packed, and then, yeah, go from there. So let's get started. I did get 4 double-page layouts done during that 4-day retreat. Now, the first day wasn't a full day of crafting. We got there in the afternoon, and then we, mingled and talked and took pictures. And then the next 2 days, it was a team retreat. So we had different meetings and different people spoke with us and whatnot. So we didn't have the full 24 hours to scrapbook, but a lot of scrapbooking time was made, which was really great. And then the 4th day, we were all heading home. So I did a little bit of scrapbooking and then just kind of finished up some projects and cleaned up and mingled. So 4 layouts over that 4-day weekend, but I felt productive. I felt like I used my time wisely and that I had all my products. So I'll share with you kind of what I packed and how I created my kits. This first layout, I actually created a sketch using my Cricut before I left home. So here is the sketch I created on my Cricut. Again, I made this at home before leaving. And then here is how it came together. I used a lot of products from my stash. I created this background with the, rounded corners. I hardly ever do that anymore, but I remembered my corner rounder when I left because I knew I was going to be creating this. So when I was packing, I found the photos. I was looking at my photos, seeing what colors I had, and the little birthday girl, I know it's not heavily themed birthday, but it is too much fun. It's her 2nd birthday. So the birthday girl was wearing blue with these pink flowers. So I wanted to bring in, the gray to kind of pull that through. My husband's wearing gray here. There was a lot of blue in my photos with the trampoline and this little water, whatever that's called, water tray thing. So I didn't want to bring in too much blue and make it look like I was trying to match, but I still wanted to bring out the birthday girl. So I thought bringing in some peach to match her little flowers on her swimsuit would be good. And then my friend has all of these lilies growing around her trees. She had just planted those and they were blooming, and I wanted to tie that in. So then when I was picking out my cardstock, I knew I wanted my flowers to be orange because hers were orange. So I also brought in the paprika color for back here on these dies. And I just used a circle die and cut them in half. So, and then I knew I had the kayaking pictures, which was from the same weekend. So I brought my kayaking and water sport dies along. I knew I wanted to bring in dragonflies, but I had actually forgotten that die at home. So I just wrote myself a note. It's not a die, it's a stamp from my collection. But I just wrote myself a note and added these once I got home. This next layout is Stampin' Up! Product. I used the Weekend Adventure paper here, and I used the Scenic Adventure trees back here along with the flowers. Those I cut out in white cardstock, and then I used some tri-blend markers to color them in and match. This is the alphabet a la mode, which is my favorite alphabet set, or one of them at least. So I took my alphabet sets along so that I could cut those out of my cardstock. When packing for this layout, I looked at my photos and I knew I wanted to bring in green pine trees because there's a ton of trees in my photos. So I packed coordinating cardstock to match with the trees. I typed my journaling out on some Avery Clear shipping labels down here. I just don't need the world to read my journaling at this moment. But Echoes of Gunpowder is my title. And I love how this one came together. I actually used One of Jama's. I used one of her sketches, and this was supposed to be a lot of smaller photos, and I had more larger photos, so I just changed it up to fit those larger ones down there. These trees here are from my stash. They're from an older stamp set, but I just kind of mixed and matched. I think this might have been on that same stamp here, and then I just added the border. So, I mean, with a little, like, certain collections make it easier. I knew I wanted to bring in Weekend Adventure, so then I brought in coordinating cardstocks and was able to use those for my embellishments. I did not have my word sentiment stamp. I can't remember what that one's called. Let me find it. I forgot to pack this Love This Moment, but I love the little sentiments that are on it. So I just wrote myself a note, find some sentiments to add to these trees. I just thought they needed a little something more. So love how that one turned out. And I love the title. Thank you, ChatGPT. All right, this is a drive-in movie we went to, and they actually let us spend the night at this movie theater. I used to go to this one all the time growing up, so it was very nostalgic. They still have these old speakers for in your windows, and this one is kind of on my way back to where I grew up, my hometown. It's not in my hometown, but on the way. So we were on the way to visit my family, and we stopped here, spent the night, saw the movie. It was the new Lilo and Stitch movie. And it was just honestly one of the best camping spots that we've stayed in our van. It was so cool. So in the morning when everybody was gone, we took some cool pictures. This was the sunset that night. We got there early, so we played some cards before the movie started. And they play the oldies music while you're waiting over the speakers. It's just such a good time. So that night we got there, we played cards, we saw the movie, and then the next morning my husband made us breakfast in the van, and we let the dog run, and it's just out in the country. So fun. So a lot of this is from my stash. The wood grain is from the Weekend Adventures, I believe. And then these stickers are so old. I knew I wanted to bring those in and use them from my stash. The yellow goes good with the popcorn. I wanted to bring in these super old stickers. And I thought the blue matched with Stitch. So I just brought in a lot of stuff from my stash. But this die cut is available through Stampin' Up! Still. That's the mini alphabet dies. Those are another staple in my craft room. I use those all the time. I am going to add a flip flap here, so I might go find another photo for that unless I have even more journaling, but I was able to fit a lot of my journaling down here. Oh baby, this is my sister's baby shower, and look at how this paper goes perfectly with my sister's dress. It was like they made them for each other. So I had to tie that in, and I just wanted to use it sparingly. I didn't want to put it behind my photos. Then my sister would have blended in. My sister would have blended in. Anyways, it would have taken away from the photo. My photo wouldn't have shown up as much if I would have put that behind or anything like that. This is the new alphabet, party alphabet die. So it's nice and large. I love how big that is. It's such a statement. This doily's from my stash. You guys probably recognize these frames and flowers. And this was the last piece of this DSP paper I had, and I really wanted to bring it in because of the background of this photo backdrop. So I knew I wanted to bring that in. It was a baby girl, so I could bring in the pinks that coordinate with this DSP. So I wanted to bring that in. I wanted to bring this in, and I think I was able to tie together the different patterns. Super fun, and I love that the embellishments were easy to put together since they come with that kit. You've seen me use this kit before, but now you probably won't see it again because I'm out of DSP. I do have a few more embellishments, I think, that I could possibly add to more layouts. I actually made a total of 6 layouts at the team retreat, but 4 of them is what I am able to show in this video here. Wait for another video to see. They're part of a collaboration. So I did get a little more done than originally thought at the retreat. But yeah, it's so fun to look at your pictures and see what to pack, and it made these layouts come together rather quickly. I didn't have an abundance of options at the retreat. This is what I packed to go on this layout. That's what I had to use. So for instance, this one, my tag dies are just a staple, so I had those with me. I knew I wanted to use these stickers. I knew I wanted to use the popcorn to match the popcorn bucket here. So when I packed my bag, I grabbed blue to tie in with the popcorn bucket. I did take some red cardstock, but I ended up not using it on here. I brought my Country Woods, which is behind these photos. I would normally use just solid cardstock, but I didn't have dark solid cardstock, so that was perfect. And then bringing in the greens, I had the green because of these outdoor themed ones. You know, I already had the green to coordinate with this paper collection, so I was able to tie that in and bring in some more of the green of the van. So creating those kits ahead of time and, you know, seeing the colors of your photos and what papers you want to bring in, that helps a lot. And then stamps that you typically use, or, you know, this is an outdoor layout. I typically put trees on there, so I just packed some tree dies and tree stamps. And same with the kayaking one. I knew I was scrapbooking the kayaking photos, so I grabbed my kayaking stamp to go on there. I lost that layout. It's right here. I didn't pack my flip-flaps. I decided I could add those when I got home. So all of those pictures are still loose, but I'll get those attached here now that I'm back home. I hope this was helpful, and if you guys have questions about the retreat or whatnot, what to pack, let me know, because I think I did pretty good for my first time. But I watched videos, I made lists, I went through my craft room and came up with a game plan. So super fun. I will have pictures of the team retreat. So I do have pictures. I have hundreds of pictures. So I'm going to have a lot of photos and scrapbook layouts coming your way from that retreat as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye.